Hey everybody, this is Rob at Gemini Guitars. Got some bad news since the last episode, since episode one. Um, the eye infection that I had spread to the other eye through the nose, and now I'm blind. I'm completely blind in both eyes. So, but I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna try to keep going. Um, Making the videos about guitar pickups. We'll do the best we can. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I've been thinking about this pickup and trying to figure out what to do. Initially, I wanted to do a P90 sort of construction using the existing keeper bar with two magnets on either side, but there is totally not enough room to do that. So it's completely crazy. This pickup is very thin. It's actually thinner. Um, it's thinner than a Strat pickup. Not quite as thin as a Tele neck pickup, somewhere in between. But there's very little room, and since the keeper bar is so big, I am unable to I don't have magnets, nor have I found any magnets small enough to put on either side. At least not any magnets that I would actually want to use. So that is just kind of out. So I went back and forth, because I thought maybe I did, in fact, have some magnets that would fit. But I think we're going to end up doing and have to do, which is going to be really cool. And I'm actually going to use the most possible parts from the original pickup, is basically just to do a ceramic gold foil in this pickup housing, and I will be able to use the existing cover, obviously, but also the existing the magnet and the base plate. That being said, I'll use the keeper bar for something else. Um, so here is kind of the process that I go through to draw the parts that I'm going to need in AutoCAD, and then print out with the 3D printer if it's 3D, and cut it out on the laser cutter if it's something that I'm going to cut out of fiberboard. So, okay, here I am, getting ready to draw the parts that I'm going to need in AutoCAD. Really just the bobbin, but it actually ended up doing the bracket too, but I don't show that. So here I am drawing a two-dimensional view of the bobbin. The bottom is going to be a 3D printed part, and then the top I'm just going to cut out of 30 thousandths fiberboard and then just glue it onto the magnet. And what I'm doing, I'm drawing the outside. Really just drawing the outside of the pickup, and then I'll offset that, the thickness of the material. But I ended up drawing this bobbin way too big. It didn't fit in the pickup cover at all, but I was really trying to, because this pickup is so small and thin. It was really tall, but it's thin. I was really trying to keep the bobbin as big as I could, to just so that I would be able to get enough wire on there, which I did. So that ended up working out, even though I did end up having to trim down the bobbin quite a bit once it's done. So there is the actual size of the magnet, and I'm working on. There's the holes for the where the rivets were, and there's screws now that pass through. One of the things about this pickup was that the coil actually went around where the rivets were. There was just a plastic bobbin that dropped in there, but I wound the coil directly around the magnet, so I had to have these little plastic tabs on the end so that the coil could wrap around, and then the screws could pass through that. So there is the now I'm making the 3D part that I'm going to print out. And in theory, this was really great and everything. In practice, it ended up not. Just being a little bit too precious or whatever, and didn't really work. So and there's little plastic tabs that for the coil to go around. So that's that, and then the magnet just glued right in there like that. So should have just printed out the little tabs there and glued them onto the magnet, and then added the top and bottom plate out of fiberboard. Probably would have been the best way to do it. There's Marshall. There's my son. He's the best. And here's Cura, which is the CAM program that generates a G-code for the 3D printer, getting it ready to go and exporting it and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So, all right, so the 3D printer is printing out that thing. It's working on that. So the top plate is going to be fiberboard that I'm just going to glue on there, and I'm going to cut it out on the laser cutter. But first I'm going to engrave a little kind of a recess to fit in there. So let's do that. Let's see. Oh shit. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let's see. Doing its engraving thing. Trying to cut this out of that corner there. And I think it'll fit. This bobbin's so small. I think it'll fit. So everything, all of our bobbin that we're making is all printing, cutting, doing its thing. And now we're going to do the cutting operation. Okay, so now we're going to cut it out. Oh, look at that. Tons of room. Okay. So there is the top plate right there. For whatever mysterious reason, to get the gunk, the burned up gunk stuff off of this fiberboard, which is like this rubber impregnated heavy cardboard stuff, Windex takes it right off, which is completely bizarre to me, because this stuff is pretty foul. But Windex, the good people at Windex, a SC Johnson company, always putting out great products. SC Johnson, a family company. Anyway, this is the original. I don't know if the other ones will do as good. Anyway, so this is all nice and cleaned up now. We are still waiting for the 3D printer to do its thing. In the meantime, this isn't going to drop all the way in, and I know that, although it's really close. We might have to trim this up a little bit, but that's fine.
I was anticipating that, and I'm going to put a smaller plate on top of it. So, because it's radiused, it's got this, it's so radiused at the top, it's almost like, it's almost like fully radiused. But we're going to figure it out. And we're going to have to trim this some anyway once it's all said and done. So as soon as the 3D printer is done, we will keep going. Okay, so the 3D printer is done. I meant to get the end of it and film the end of it, but that didn't happen. Let's see if this is going to work. I don't know that it is. It's kind of, it ended up kind of having to be a little flimsy, and I tried to get the little blocks here to be part of it. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see if it is. Get my freaking camera rig set up here. There we go. Alright, let's see. Get all this stuff out of the way. Is this going to work? It might. I mean, it's all going to be glued together anyway. It does, the bar magnet does fit in the, let's see, maybe I could clean that up a little bit, or maybe it'll just go in there and be fine. Yeah, alright, so I think this actually is going to fit. Clean this up a little bit. Maybe should have made it a little bit. I think I didn't make it undersized at all. Forgot. I got, so nervous in front of the camera that I forgot. Let's see. That might be the trick. We might have to print this out again, except a little bit undersized. It's already pretty. Let's see if it fits this way. Yeah, that seems fine. Should I just try to sand this? No, let's do it again. And this time, I will get the, oh yeah. And this time I will get the, try to get the end of the printing. Okay, so I had to do a bunch of work and I forgot to film a bunch of stuff, and I'm all ready for assembly here. Didn't get, anyway, here's the finished coil. It's, the existing magnet is inside of there. Basically there's just the top plate fiberboard and then the 3D printed thing underneath, and then the coil wire just wrapped around it. And I'll shoot some video of me like winding a coil, but it's incredibly boring, and but we'll get that next time. 44 gauge wire, pretty thin, but that's what was used on the original gold foils. The resistance is around 6.3, which is what I wanted. I ended up not using the existing base plate because it was too shallow with the decreased thickness. So I would have had to cut the ears off and to get it to go down and clamp down. And then, the mounting holes wouldn't have done me any good, and there's this big hole in it. So I just made me another steel base plate, which is a pretty integral feature of gold foil pickups. This is north up clockwise. It's going to be in the neck position with a south up counterclockwise And the bridge position, don't know what that's going to be yet, but I've got some ideas, and I think it's going to be really cool. Um, so there's that. Um, here's the cover. I actually um, tried to polish it, clean it and polish it, but it looked worse. So I just ended up, I wet sanded it with 2000 grit, and then I put it in the muriatic acid vapor bath. Um, and this is how it turned out. I think it looks awesome. So there's that. Here's the actual gold foil insert that's going to be on the end, that's going to stick up in there. And here is this little. This is what's actually going to the pickups. It's going to screw to this, and this is what's going to mount to the pick guard, because I needed some. It has to fill in the space from where the pickup drops down, the coil drops down in there. But I'll show you that once I get it assembled. Okay, so probably not going to be able to see like any of this, but I'm going to film me doing it anyway. Going to solder the, basically I'm going to assemble this and solder the, so I need to clean and scuff up the inside where I'm going to try to solder this. These aren't typically super easy to solder. You got to really good. Usually I can get through the chrome or nickel altogether and get down to the brass, and usually then it'll solder for me. Alright, so that's clean. Already got the base plate cleaned off. I think it's going to be okay. We don't need a ton of solder, but I am actually going to put this all together, because the way it's going to work, these long screws, which are actually P90 height adjustment screws, are what is going to go through here and clamp it all together. But I think I should probably drill these out. I think this is a little even too thin. So I'm going to drill these out, and then we're going to put this dude together. Alright, had to search high and low for the 5/32 drill bit, but it was found, and we're all drilled out. So the gold foil drops in there. That all looks good. Lining up. I didn't have to use actual gold foil. I thought about just putting a black piece of fiberboard in there and have it be black instead of. That is lining up pretty good. Did I lose one? I'm only seeing one. There's those things. I think I might have took it over here. Yeah, I totally lost it somehow. But got another one here. Alright, so see what we're seeing. Yeah, you're seeing all that. Alright, this actually is a drop. There it is. It's right here. I found it. This is actually supposed to just drop in, but it is a little tight, and I don't want to force it. I don't want to break anything yet. Alright, so, alright. We are looking good so far. I don't know. Do I want to clamp? I can't do that because I can't get. I can't get the. I won't be able to get the soldering iron in there if I screw that thing down in there. But that's okay, because what we're going to do is Um, no, I think I'll leave that. All right. We are just going to clamp this guy down, and but I need a little something. I don't know what it is. More importantly, I don't know where it is. I need something to set this on so it'll sit more or less flat. Maybe this is the guy for me. All right. Damn it! Did you fall? Oh, I know what that. I think I did that. I think that was my fault. All right. So, yeah, you can see enough. All right, bunch of crap stuck to you now. What's this? All right, that is gonna work. Okay. I think we're going to be good. Seems, hopefully. Because if not, this is the behemoth. 260 watt Weller soldering iron. When you want to solder base plates to covers, this is the only way to fly. So I'm probably going to huff some molten plastic and some molten plastic and some burning super glue, which is always great. Okay, I got one little spot. Now, this is not exactly a lot of room to work. All right. There's two spots. Now, I'm going to put 4 little spots because I got my clamp right in the middle here where I would like to have just a couple pieces of solder, but that's going to be great. Sometimes this is where it cracks apart. All right, now hopefully I'm going to look under here and everything is still going to be lined up. Big reveal. Everything looks pretty good to me. Ooh, love it, plasticky. All right, so now, okay, so you see how deep that is down in there now. So that's where this guy comes in that I 3D printed. And we're just going to screw this down on there. And it's going to be all good. And basically, once this is on, it's going to be done. Alright, so yeah, I'm happy with how this turned out. I was pretty limited on what I was going to be able to do and kind of retain some of the original character. I could have, you know, wound a Strat pickup and just stuck it in here, or used a Alnico bar magnet or something like that. But I'm happy that I used the original magnet, and obviously the cover. And I think this is going to sound really good. Hopefully I'll get some sound clips sooner rather than later. I've got a kind of a test guitar that I can put it in to get to hear it sometime soon. Alright. This thing is on there. Oh shit. I guess you heard that. Don't know what that was. Doesn't look like solder cracked, but maybe some super glue cracked. I don't know. I am going to but I'm going to level with you. You hear cracks like that all the time. It's not the end of the world. Because we still have good resistance. And it's all put together. And it's done now. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't know how well you can see it. You can see it pretty good. Looks pretty cool. Definitely one of a kind. It's going to look great in when the guitar is done. Alright, and here it is in the pick guard. I'll probably try to clean this pick guard up some more. Or maybe not even use it at all. I don't know. It's in a really kind of funky spot, but maybe that'll be cool. And it'll just kind of be in that spot. I think the other pickup is going to go right here. I'll cut it out. Alright, so that was like pretty much it. And here you can see how it works mounted. You know, no major disasters. Had to do a lot of stuff by hand. Actually had to trim the coil down after I wound it by hand with the Dremel tool, which is kind of a little nerve-wracking. A little, you know, some of it was maybe a little bit more crude than I like, but it's all solid and it's all put together, and I think it's going to sound great. Can't wait to hear it.